Now most of you are probably pretty familiar with my investments, and every single video I've got them linked down in the description below, but I wanted to briefly go over what majority of my holdings are in. Obviously I've got a ton of storage units which are now hidden because obviously the latest update by Valve not too long ago made it so you cannot see storage units, but this is all my investments for the most part. This is going to be nearly everything. The only thing that this does not include is going to be my M4A1S Knight and a couple other miscellaneous items, but you can see the majority of my investments are in the case market. Specifically, a lot of these mid to rare cases are exactly what I've got strong investments into. I've also got this right here. This is my investing series, which is the $50 video you just previously saw from me. Majority of my value is held in this sheet though. Obviously you can see I've made a lot of profit, and that's why it might be potentially a little bit surprising to you that we're actually going to be selling off some things today. I'm going to be explaining exactly what I'm selling and why. If you're looking for the lowest fees on the market, Skin Vault is the perfect place for you with a free up to $10 on your first trade. They've got a massive deposit bonus to help you out if you're trying to buy some brand new skins, or one of the best prices you're going to be finding for an instant sell site, which is absolutely perfect. Plus their fees for everything is nearly 50% cheaper than the competition, and your trades are going to be taking under 30 seconds right now. This is trusted by Nate King, but the truth is use code MasterShiny, I'm just better, and it's going to be the lowest fee you can actually find if you're looking to trade your skins. Now starting off with the why I'm selling, first up I want to look at this graph right here. As you can see on the very far left, this is in 2023 when we saw that major peak, and obviously we saw a collapse in price. Now obviously if you want to look at the long term, prices have generally gone up, but you could have made a lot more profit if you sold at the peak, rebought just a couple months later at the bottom. Now this is not my intended plan here. I'm not trying to time the CS market just because I think it's a little bit more risky, and honestly with the way fees add up on Steam and all third-party sites, it gets really expensive really quickly. For me, the reason why I'm selling is because I'm running this YouTube channel. Honestly, whether the skins are high or low, usually I'm selling off skins to fund my videos, whether that's trade ups, whether that's the investing series, whatever's going on. I try not to deposit too much extra money into it because I've already got a ton of my net worth inside of this game. So therefore I'm trying to go ahead and sell a little bit off when it's at the peak, just so I can sell off less items now compared to the future. If it goes back down, I don't have to sell as much. And when you talk about the specific items and see them in a quick second, I think you're going to be able to understand exactly why. Now talking about what exactly am I selling off? Well, first up, if you've been watching my channel for a while, you know that I made one big investment inside of this entire channel, the longest period of time I invested into this case. That's going to be the Shatter Web case. Shatter Web case is one that I bought over 700 of at just around $1 when my inventory itself was only worth just over $1,000. It was my biggest first investment, and obviously it has returned about sixfold. I've made about 500% on this investment, which is absolutely crazy. But with that being said, it's a discontinued case. Discontinued cases are a little bit more volatile, and the truth is at a $6 price point, I definitely think it might be start time to liquidate off a little bit of my position. I'm down to 600 of them, meaning over the past year I've sold off about 100 of these cases for $600. I think that's a very strong trade-off, and the truth is I'm going to be reinvesting this money back into the game of CS. Not necessarily just specific investments, but I also really like to have cash on hand. I didn't really have much. I'd been spending a lot of it, so now I'm back up over $1,000 in my Steam wallet balance, which I definitely find a little bit more confident in, because whenever a potential update pops up, I'm going to be able to take advantage right away. The second thing I'm going to be selling off is some of my Broken Fang items. I've got a lot of skins and a lot of stickers, and overall we're getting to the price point on these Broken Fang items where I'm satisfied with the return. We're looking at about an 8x on some of these skins, and honestly when we're talking about the stickers, we're really seeing a lot of stagnation inside of this area, and I've already made solid profit. Talking about the Broken Fang or the Battle Scarred Hollow, these are stickers that I've ended up buying super cheaply. Now they're rather expensive. I'm fine selling it off, especially considering they've been sitting at a relatively stagnant price point. Everything for Broken Fang has ended up being a decent investment, but I'm ready to move out of it and move it into more profitable endeavors for the future. And lastly, I've also sold a lot of my miscellaneous investments. This is going to include your major passes and your operation passes. I had some of these lying around, and honestly they've returned decent profit, but I'm just ready to get rid of them and take that money and put it into, once again, more profitable endeavors. They've returned really strongly over the past years, but it's an investment that's starting to fade, and honestly I'm ready to let these go. Now talking about the most important aspect of all of this is, first off, I am not cashing out these items. I'm putting them into cash, so I have them inside of the Steam community market. They are staying inside of CS and CS2 investments. I'm not cashing them out for actual physical cash outside of the game. And second of all, this is only like 3% of my total inventory. I am still extremely confident in the current market. I'm transferring this money out of one investment to another investment, and I think that's very important to emphasize because I'm still very confident on what we're seeing. I'm making sure that obviously at the peak I'm taking out a very small amount, so I do have some liquidity on hand because I think that's very important to have, and it's also very important to not get blinded by the current trajectory of the market. If you want to cash out a little bit of your inventory, go for it. Have that cash on hand, because at the end of the day, no one is guaranteeing that tomorrow the market's going to be higher than it was today. Now coming to the question of should you be selling, it really depends on what specific market if we're talking about. If we're talking about the case market, market, I honestly think it's very dependent on your specific case. I sold off a couple of my discontinued cases because overall the discontinued case market is very strong, but it's also one that's very inconsistent. Right now it's up and I'm very happy to take the profits, move it on over to something else. Talking about the rare case market, I definitely see they are very solid investments and they have performed very well over the past couple of months. But with that being said, I actually see a lot more promising outlook in terms of ROI percentage inside this area than anything else. These cases are maybe $1, $1.50 for talking about our cheaper rare cases. That's a lot stronger potential in my personal opinion than something that's sitting at the $6, $7, $8, $9, even $10 range, which is what we're seeing for the Riptide case. A lot of strong potential inside of this area, and therefore I would not personally be selling much, if anything, when we're talking about the cheaper rare or even the more expensive rare case market. Obviously, it's very dependent on your specific situation, and it's going to be catered to that, but I overall am a very bullish person on this area, and I still continue to be because the data backs it up, the supply is going down, and overall the demand is staying constant, which is a really good formula. Now talking about the investments that I personally would be selling, first up, it's going to be your major capsules. If you're really tired of this area, I honestly do not blame you if you're trying to get out of it. I personally liquidated off a couple of my Stockholm capsules just because they're sitting around $2 a piece. Obviously, they are not at the heights they used to be, but also the sticker market is just completely different right now. It's completely oversaturated, and honestly, I don't see a lot of these prices really increasing that significantly. They're probably just going to have some normal fluctuation. If you want to get out, the supply definitely shows it's massive, whatever capsule you got, and therefore I would not blame you. Otherwise, I would honestly, anything that you really want to get out of that's not a perfect investment, I would consider a perfect investment something that's got a decreasing supply and a relatively stagnant or increasing demand. Obviously, this is really good, and therefore it turns out to be a really profitable investment. If your item is not one of those, it's honestly not a terrible idea if you're really done with it to go ahead and sell it and move on to something new. Obviously, we don't want to do this too often, but also we don't want to be sitting on a lot of items that are not going anywhere, because that is going to harm us in the long term when the overall market is going crazy like it has been over the past couple of months. If you're not seeing any growth and this item seems a little bit dead, might not be a bad idea to move on. Now, one mistake that seems to come up nearly every time that we see some sort of market interaction is going to be the fact of people asking, should they be selling off their play skins to go ahead and make investments inside of the game? And honestly, it's a very hard balance to find, but it needs to be a balance. You can't have your whole investment inventory just be that, investments. If you're playing the game, make sure you're enjoying the game. If skins are something you value, don't go selling off your $10 skin so you can go ahead and buy 6 more cases. It's not going to make that big of a deal. Now, really, it comes down to the question of what should you be doing right now? In my honest opinion, I think for the majority of people, selling right now would probably be a mistake. It really depends on the commodity, obviously, as I've emphasized time and time again, but it's going to be very important that you do stick with investments that are profitable as well. A lot of these investments I still think are on a very strong long-term trajectory, as I've shown by the fact that I am keeping 97% of my inventory invested into the investments that is currently still at. I want to make it very transparent that I am selling off those 3% to help fund other videos, but overall, the investment market is very hot, and there's no reason the majority of people should really be selling at this time, in my personal opinion. But that's all I got. Make your own decisions, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.